Welcome to another edition of the Jam Talk Show. You're tuned into the Jam Talk Show. I'm your host, Dorlan H. Francis, and I will be with you this evening until 7:30 p.m. I'd like to thank you for joining me this and all the weeks you've been joining and listening to the program. And special thanks to those people who have been sharing. I'd like you to share as much as possible so that we will have a broad cross section of people listening to the ideas that is emanating from the Jam Talk Show. As usual, I'll be maintaining my usual format, and we will be looking at current affairs, and then the crux of the discussion this afternoon will be about the government proposed 1.5 million tax cut plan. Specifically, we want to look at the senseless and anxiety caused by over expectant comrades or people wishing to see the government fail. So that will be the central focus of the discussion this afternoon. But first, let us start with the current affairs. In the current affairs, there's this note about the crackdown on lottery scamming. That was welcoming news in multiple raids across the country. 19 people were detained. 7 of them were on extradition warrants. I often wonder, what was the purpose of Anthem? Anthem was that secret deal that Peter and the Americans went into. That secret MOU. You remember that? That allows them to listen in on just about every telephone conversation that is made in the country. And I often wonder, what was the purpose of that? If a criminal act like lottery scamming that relies entirely on telephone, if you can't use that arrangement, that secret MOU to bring something like lottery scamming under control, what was the purpose of it? Was it just to invade people's privacy and listen to a man comforting his woman over the phone? So I was really heartened and encouraged when I saw this move this week, and I was also happy to know that there were law enforcement officials from the United States who were on the ground helping with it, because I often wonder, why aren't they listening to these telephone conversations and pinning them and tracking them? I know who is doing it and who to be picked up. And I know the local scammers, they do all kind of means to evade detection. Using different phones, using different chips and all that. But the point is, they are calling usually one target. So I don't see why the U.S. authorities couldn't be listening to those targets and put a pin on, put a tracking on the people, the scammers who are calling in. So it's very good to know that they're moving in that direction, and I hope they will be able to break the back of the lottery scamming, because it is an insidious activity. In discussions some friends and I have been having over the course of the week, I often point out to them the danger of having bad money driving out good money. And that is what will happen. Right? That's what happened with drugs money. That's what will happen with scamming money. These bad money will drive out good money. These bad money will make your young boys don't even want to go to school anymore. Because they're gonna say, what's the purpose? What's the point in going to school? When when you know just son over so who can read and write, driving Benz and living in multi-story house. You know? That's what happened with these things. Not to mention the high level of murder and other crimes that come along with it. Right? So we cannot tolerate those kind of money making activity. And it is significant to note that a lot of scamming emerge under the People's National Party government, and they turn a blind eye to it. They allow it to thrive to the point where it is now it has become an albatross around the neck of everybody in the country. Right? Well, I think there's a new sheriff in town. There's a new minister of security. And that's a no-nonsense minister of security. And I expect that pretty soon these things will come back, not only come to a livable level, but they will probably might break the back. Just like how the government of Bruce Golding, was able to cut off the snakehead of the people who wanted to copy the Trinidadian practice of kidnapping for ransom. That was severely dealt with because they tried to introduce it during a time when a Jamaica Labour Party was government. And we all know, how that has developed, kidnapping for ransom. They don't try it in Jamaica, right? Because it was decisively dealt with by a Jamaica Labour Party government. But we have a lot of scamming, because People's National Party tiptoed around it. Because too much of their supporters was involved in it. One of their vice chairman of their constituency was noted for pioneering the whole activity. Right? Same thing with extortion. They take extortion, make it into an industry. Right? Because the People's National Party government tiptoes around these criminal acts because they have a lot of their lumpen element to support them who is involved in it. That's why they can't deal with it. But when kidnapping for ransom came on stream, the timing was bad because they met no-nonsense government in office. And that was decisively dealt with. And I'm sure in time a lot of scamming will be brought under control because there's a new sheriff in town. So that was one of the big news of the week. The other news was Information Minister, Senator Royal Reid, announcing that the government intends to build a filter plant at Content. Now this plant will process 15 million gallons per day. And the anticipation is that in 18 months when it is operational, it should be working to alleviate the water crisis in the Kingston and St. Andrew metropolitan area and in some of the St. Catherine metropolitan area, the Portmore Spanish Town area. Right? Now, monitoring comments on Facebook, some of the comrade bloggers were trying to say, this is something that was being planned by the previous government. Well, no, this plan, not only was it being planned by previous government, it was being planned by the previous Bruce Golding administration. And this was part of a project to increase the water distribution in Jamaica that they undertook. And at the IDB fully funding it. This was a project that was fully funded. While Bruce was there, the rehabilitation of the Rio Cobre pipeline was done. right? Shearer built it initially, and Bruce had to come rehabilitate it. And it was done seamlessly, without any undue disruption, without any corruption and cost overrun, and all that goes on with projects that are conducted by the People's National Party. We had none of that, right? And they had to finish the pipeline. And that was the end of it. There was funding in place to improve the water system in Kingston metropolitan area, right? Including the building of this filter plant. And for 4 years, the People's National Party did nothing about it. And this is my belief why they did nothing about it. The People's National Party is a party that loves crisis. They love crisis. When there's a crisis, they have more control over people. That's why they talk about they love the poor. They love poverty. Because when people are poor and dependent, they have more control over them. Right? This was what Michael Manley did in the 1970s. That's why today you hear people talk, why are people, oh, me get a house. What kind of house? They don't care. You know, it's a 2x4, but they don't care. As if, had it not been for Michael, nobody in Jamaica would have had a house. Which is total nonsense. Right? When Michael came to power, we had first world type housing in Jamaica. When Michael came to power, you see people put up their room for rent sign on their lawn or in their room window, and it would be there for months because we never have a housing crisis. You understand? Urban drift was controlled. Squatter settlement was not encouraged. And we didn't have a lot of squatters around, and we never have shortage of housing. In short time, we have housing development like, well, this was during the first 10-year term of the JLP government after independence. We have housing development like in some city, right? Like Independence City and Edgewater, Bridgeport. These are houses that were built. As a matter of fact, Portmore was conceived by the Siaga and the UDC team that he put in place. Right? It was a JLP conception. And as usual, when the PNP heard about it, they opposed it like they oppose everything else. That the man asked if the laborers were planning to drown off people over Portmore Swamp. Right? That was how they responded to it. So the whole of those project was a JLP conception. Right? And during JLP time, about places like Queensborough being built. Right? You have state first world apartment like Gallery Apartment. You have Maryfield Apartment, Heritage House. Right? Oxford Manor Apartment. Worthington Towers. Those were first world apartment being built in the 1960s, early 70s. Right? But when Michael came to power, what he did was to pick fight with developers. And they were some of the first people who took one of the 5 flights a day. So what Michael did was to create a crisis in housing. And then he came along and satisfied. And it worked brilliantly for them then. Right? Because they were at the control of scarce benefit. Never have a problem in housing prior to that. People were living in decent housing. And people trying to rent a room, you have to wait. There was no shortage of housing. The shortage only created after Michael came. So they created a crisis and then used the crisis to, the means to distribute scarce benefit and control political alliance. That is what happened. And I believe it's the same thing they wanted to do with water. That's why the People's National Party is not known for building one single water system in the Kingston metropolitan area. Not a single water system where half the people live. They have been in power for 30, almost 39 years from adult suffrage. 38 years and 8 months. 38 years, 8 months. Right? They have been in power since we started voting. And all of those times, they have not built a single water system in the Kingston metropolitan area. Right? And all the little system they build, they generate about 12.5 million gallons of water per day. The systems they are involved in building. Right? And when one JLP system, the Tolo pipeline, it alone deliver 12.5 million gallons per day. Right? So that is how the two parties compare. So when the government announced the plan to build a filter plant at Content, it came as no surprise. It was there on the book long time. These studies were done from Bruce Golding was Prime Minister, right? And the implementation started because the total rehabilitation pipeline was done. And the people just did not give the government enough time, to build and deliver for them what an essential commodity. But they say the people know best, But that's why the Content pipeline filter plant wasn't done. Building super water distribution is not on the cards of the People's National Party. You understand? They like crisis. When you have a crisis, they have more control. More people are beholden to them, right? And they can exact vote from people. You want water truck stop, you better vote for me, right? And of course, when the water has to be trucked from point A to point B, oh yeah, man, it's a field day for their people who control a few trucks. Field day. So it's a fertile ground for corruption, and it enables them to wield political control. So that is why they do nothing, absolutely nothing for water over all these years. And to think that people could come and talk about the two parties the same, it's one of the most disheartening comments you can ever think of. Also in the current affairs, the PNP, the government, the current government moved to rescue Money Musk. A crisis that was there from October last year. They knew that Money Musk was in dire difficulties. And the government did nothing. They just ignore it. They think that by ignoring problems, they will go away. And also the plant in Clarkstown, right, the Long Pond Shore Estate. The previous government just ignored it, right? And they were just like how they just buy into this WTO, this World Trade Organization demands, and just whoop up the market and make scallion and onion is imported by the trailer load and put St. Elizabeth farmers out of work, right? That's why now you trying to get farming going is like pulling teeth. Because people remember those days. They just ignore these things. These guys have no sense of how to develop people or our country. Because when you allow people to leave the land, when you do have farming, what will you have? First of all, farming probably employ about a quarter of the working folks in Jamaica. About a quarter. So what those people going to do? But most importantly, farming it provides food that sustains life. After oxygen, water, we need food. And that's what farming does. And these guys just ignore it. Oh, the market will take care of itself. So Longpan was there struggling. They did nothing. Nothing. It wasn't even my election issue. Right? Matters like those should have been on the agenda. Should we keep the sugar industry or should we not keep it? And that's a debate for another show and another day. But I am firmly one who believe that you keep it. You keep sugar. If we can't grow sugar, what can we do? Huh? Don't tell me about other people doing it cheaper. We have to do something at home too. We have to have something that will give our people a livelihood. And sugar is something that we still use. Sugar is widely used across the world. Right? And although there's different form of sugar, cane sugar is still widely used for all kind of sweetening. Okay? And I think we'll always be using some form of sweetening going forward. So why not produce it? Why not produce it? So if we produce it at $2 a pound, or say $200 a pound, and we can get it on the world market for 150, what? We go buy it for 150, and then our farmers not want to do? Nonsense. So we do it. So the sugar industry must be preserved. We have to have something to do. Not everybody can turn space engineer. Not everybody can go and make smartphone. We have a plan sugar cane, we have a plan callaloo and banana and those things too. So, the industry needs to be saved. And the JLP move swiftly to alleviate the crisis in Money Musk. And they have taken over the Longpan industry, sugar factory there for a 3-month period, at least to take this year crop off. Those are brilliant and smart, decisive move, right? You have a crisis that was there from last year, October, or in the case of Longpan, a much longer time. And the government did nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And within 26 days of assuming office, a decisive and far-seeing government has taken decisions, tough as they may be. They take decisions because the right thing is to save the jobs of the people. Deal with other things after that. So those are some other things. They were in talk with Noranda backside with the same intention to try and save Jamaican jobs. Right? Previous government was there, we want our waiver. You owe us waiver, and that's all we want. The waiver. You don't tell us about your financial difficulties. Pay the waiver. That is how they go about business. You understand? They don't understand the economy. But thank God we now have a government that does. And so that's another matter that this government has moved to address decisively. And that takes me to the vain effort of comrade bloggers and supporters of the People's National Party and the propagandist arm of the PNP. Right? Their effort to try to cast doubt on the tax plan that was proposed by the government, right? Instead of people talking about these things that have been accomplished, the water filter plant at Content that will put in 15 million gallons of water per day in the system in a area that has been prone to drought for the past how many years, right? Nobody talk about that, right? The PNP never do it, and the JLP doing it now. Oh, it's no big thing. No big thing. Just like how the JLP build all the hospitals in Jamaica. You have to search hard to find one or two that the PNP build are completed. JLP and the colonial power bill, all of them. And but how come and say, oh, no big thing. Somebody had to do. Oh, they like to talk. Oh, they're paid. They're paid to do this. So the PNP is not paid. The PNP do voluntary work. So when they are there, they're not supposed to do anything. Right? So instead of talking about these things, they are talking about the fact that the announcement for the 1.5 million tax break hasn't come yet. Right? And I am especially disappointed when the bloggers on Facebook can make a ass of themselves, can prove to the world that they are cultists and they're incapable of rational thought. That is one thing. But when a paper like the Gleaner is gonna put in an editorial, right? And is putting in subtle little words, which are propagandizing words to undermine, we need to condemn it. Gleaner, the government is in office for 26 days. Give them a break. You are part of the problem. The Gleaner Company of Jamaica and RGR, you are part of the problem. You are the propaganda arm of the PNP. You show them up and keep them in power for all these years as they destroy the country. And thank God for social media, we were able to neutralize your propaganda. And we'll continue to do so. But cut the government some slack. Right? Just because of the discussion surrounding the funding for the tax cut. This is what they wrote in an editorial. In part, but we sense a certain kind of impatience among the people as members of the administration appear to be fumbling around their ministries. That's rude and insulting. And you can use those little dog whistle words and fool other people. But the articulated minority is not easily fooled. And you are making an ass of yourself. And you're putting your business at risk by continuing along those lines. You are to cease your propagandizing, Gleaner, and start the fair and honest reporting. Coming to talk about be fumbling around their ministries. The people are sworn in on March 7. They have a decisive meeting today with ZigV and the H1N1 virus. And I'm sure they provide more comfort to the Jamaican people than what Ferguson did with his 2 years of lying. Trying to give the impression that Chick V was not a serious problem. Right? Jamaica people will have more comfort in that. That sounds like fumbling to you. That's rude. And you don't use those little dog whistle word. People know you use them. You just like how you come and award man of the year. What did he do? Man of the year for what? Because him buy the Isledge, where him give away 27 million Jamaican dollars for nothing. Man of the year for what? What did he do? Pass IMF test and the backs of poor people? Huh? But you man of the year. Those are propagandizing activity that you are doing to shore up the PNP. And you are to stop it. People are watching. And these are different times and age. The little shenanigans that you guys do to use and shore up incompetence over all these years. We're going to put an end to it. And if you continue along this vein, you put your business at risk. Because people don't have to support your business when you're so blatant with your propagandizing. It's a word of caution. Report on the news, fair and balance. And make sure that I hope your business can survive. But still keep pushing along that vein. Right? Where you come with your blatant and obvious propagandizing and see what happens. You will get pushback, man. It's a different time and age. You need to change with the times. Right? The same thing go for RJR too. Report the news, fair and balanced. You guys, why people don't vote anymore? Because you tell people all kind of misleading things. Right? Instead you point out the pros and the cons and the good and the bad and let people make up their mind. You come with your one-sided argument. Right? And all the things that the government has accomplished in a short time. Oh, it's nothing. But they're fumbling around. They're fumbling around. Why are they fumbling around? But this is taking me to the main source of the discussion this afternoon. I'm going to take a little break. And when I come back, we will look at that, the tax cut and the discussions that surround it. In the meantime, I invite you to listen to some prosperity music.
I love myself, I'm on my way, getting richer every day. I love money, money loves me, I'm on the road to prosperity. Now I don't need to hide my money like some buried treasure. I circulate it lovingly and use it for my pleasure. And when my bank account gets low, that doesn't mean I'm in trouble. 'Cause every dollar that I spend will come back to me double. And I love myself, I'm on my way, I'm getting richer every day. I love money, money loves me, I'm on the road to prosperity. Now I don't need to waste my time in a job that I find boring. There's many creative ways to earn, I can spend my time exploring. And making money by working hard is fine, there's no denying. But getting paid for fun and play is far more satisfying. And I love myself, I'm on my way, I'm getting richer every day. I love money, money loves me, I'm on the road to prosperity.
Welcome back. You're tuned into the Jam Talk Show. I'm your host, Dorlan H. Francis. And this evening, we are looking at the $1.5 million tax plan of the government. And this week, Finance Minister Alishaw announced that one of his key source of funding for this plan was not there. Right? And when he made that announcement, the first thing comrades started, it's like they kick their heels with glee. Right? And the other set of propagandists now start to question, oh, was this a rush? Was this a rush announcement just to win vote? This is one of the questions this Glean editorial was asking. Right? Now, that is what the focus was on. Here's what I believe the focus should have been on. Why did the government of the People's National Party lie to the Jamaican people? Why did they lie to them? Why did the government of the People's National Party tell the Jamaican people that they were setting up an energy stabilization fund and that they were taking $7 taxes per litre from petrol, and $5 out of that would have been set aside in this fund? Why did they give the impression that this fund would have been like the housing trusts or the national insurance fund, where the money is taken from people and passed on to these funds that have strict management and strict guidelines as to how these funds should be used? Why did they give that impression? Right? And did not follow through on it. It was an outright lie. It was an outright con. And that is what Gleaner is to focus on. What kind of government is that? Huh? Is that how you govern? You come to the people and say we're going to be doing this, and you do nothing of the sort. That is what they should be condemning. Right? But why? The PNP is afraid of gas tax. They're afraid of gas tax. Remember the gas tax when the tax was imposed and the riots that ensued. So they're afraid of putting taxes on gas the way they're afraid of referendum. So instead of coming to the people and say, well, look, we're gonna put a $7 tax on gas to put us in a better position to pass the IMF test, because that's all they live for. They didn't do that. They came with this they come with, the energy stabilization fund. Right? And the first thing they did with that fund was to take $27 million and take it to give Wall Street bankers, slick Wall Street bankers, who don't really need the money, but they will always welcome some suckers. they like, I was reading a book one time where they talk about how they rip off the face of the client. Yeah, those Wall Street bankers, those Goldman Sachs, those Citigroup and all of them. That's how they treat people. You think they come in and give you good advice, and they go back to the office and laugh and brag about how they rip off the face of the client. Right? I remember they caught this little guy out of Orange County in California. He was the manager for the pension fund out there. And they just sucker him in and take out every dime. When the fund went bankrupt, right? Because they don't have nobody interested in that. They're more interested in making money for themselves. So when our Gladys government think that, hedging, some wonderful thing, you go and hedge, they just sucker you. The government was just like a saps, right? You can hedge oil at $66 a barrel, 53 cents per barrel, huh? It's like just the average Joe would know. Because first and foremost, oil price is at the level $140 per barrel because of speculation. And once the speculative bubble bursts, says floor, the price gone. The price is gonna reach its true level. And the true level is about $40 a barrel. $30 to $40 a barrel. That is the true level of oil. Right? The true price for oil. Based on demand. You can't have you just have this economic crash into it. The world hasn't recovered yet. And you believe oil is you're gonna be getting oil at $66.53 per barrel. That was a total giveaway. That was a total giveaway of people hard earned money. Right? Total giveaway. We got nothing for $27 million, $3.3 billion Jamaican dollar. Right? And the JLP government wisely decides, well, we're going to give this back to the people so that they can go create demand in the economy. And when they come, it was not there. And our comrade and the comrade back, as them can say, is, it was a rash decision It was not carefully thought out. The fact of the matter is that the former government, the People's National Party, lied to the Jamaican people, right, about the intent of those funds. It was an outright lie. Because what they wanted was they just want general tax off the fuel to put in the consolidation fund, but they didn't want to tell the people that. So they came and they're going to set up energy stabilization fund, but conveniently did not pass the law that would ring fence the money in that fund, so that they couldn't do as they please with it, right? They didn't pass the law. Why? You see what law they pass when the IMF tell them to pass law? But they conveniently didn't pass that law because they had no intention of passing it. They had no intention of it. It was a con game, it was a trick to get tax on gas without people revolting. That was the idea. Right? So the government, the opposition was led to believe, the then opposition was led to believe that these funds were there, ring fence, and frankly, better use could have been used by using that fund as a stimulus for the economy. And that is what was planned. But that planning now is no longer possible. And they will have to look to plan B. Well, if I don't know anything, I know politics. And I know that this tax cut will come. Will it come in the form that it was originally proposed? I don't know. I don't know. What I know is that the threshold will be 1.5 million. Right? It will be, the threshold will be 1.5 million for so some people at least. How they will structure it, I don't know how they'll do it. I know how I would have done it. You know, I would have put the threshold at 1.5 million for across the board, right? And since as it is clear that the government did not intend to benefit everybody at once, right? And a 1.5 million threshold across the board would have benefited everybody at the same time. They clearly didn't want to do that, and I support them not wanting to do that because the government, the country cannot afford that kind of thing all at once. Then what they should do now is to raise the threshold to 1.5 million and then increase the tax from 25% to maybe 30% or whatever number that would make the cohort of people in the 1.5 to 5 million be revenue neutral. They would not have lost any take-home pay and they would not have gained any, right? So they can still very well raise the threshold to 1.5 million, right? But at the same time, you can do the calculation. And if a guy was working 5 million was supposed to take home, for argument, for either calculation, say 4 million net take home pay, then you can structure it. Even after raising the threshold to 1.5, you can then do the back end taxing so that the net take home pay for that cohort of people is the same 4 million. Since your intention was not to benefit them at this time, right? And since your intention was to get a net gain from people who was earning over 5 million, then you can put another tier of tax in. And these people who make over 5 million, maybe a 40% tax. So that you get your $2 billion that you were looking. It can be done. Right? And when you raise the 1.5 million threshold, when you raise the anomaly that is of concern to a lot of people would have disappeared. Because yeah, there's some anomalies, right? Where if you make 1.6 million, then right away you start have to pay. You only be at a threshold of 500,000, and then you have to pay tax on the rest of it. you will be at a disadvantage of a guy making 1.4 million or 1.49 million, right? So that would be smoothed out by raising the threshold. I see proposal where they say raise the threshold to 1 million. No, raise it to 1.5. That is 1.5 was promised. 1.5 must be delivered, right? And there's nothing wrong with doing it. As the song say, when I spend it, what I spend, I get it back double. When money is done like this, it's spent like this, it will come back in the system double. Government revenue will increase dramatically, and confidence which people can't measure will be so boosted. It's worth doing. And if it is adjusted, adjust it on the back end. And then you can always argue that you made your commitment. Because if your intent was to benefit people making 1.5 or less, they don't pay no tax. And your intent was to make the cohort between 1.5 and 5 be revenue neutral. You're not going to give them a boost, but you're not going to take no money from them. Then give them the threshold, increase the threshold to 1.5, and then take off some money from the back end, tax the back end, and so that they'll take home exactly what they were taking home now, and would not have been affected. And I don't see who could quarrel with that. Don't see who could quarrel with that. And since they wanted to pick up some money from the people who make over 5 million, then you put in the 1.5 million threshold to let those people benefit too. Then you have a 30% tax on them, and maybe a 40% tax on anything over 10 million. As a matter of fact, I think 50% would be good, right? So you can use a 3-tier taxing. 30%, 1.5 to 5, 40%, 5 to 10, anything over 10, 50, right? I know the government and their talk about abolishing income tax. It's a dangerous concept. Progressive income tax produce more result, more prosperity in the world than anything else. And I've spoken exhaustively about the dangers of abolishing income tax, and government should not entertain it. When you're abolishing income tax, you unleash greed of the kind of proportion that you cannot contain. And these people will squeeze poor people and turn them into slaves. Right? So people, when you hear them talk about just worry. They want to turn into slaves. They want to get back to the time of serfdom where you work like serfs. And there are feudal lords who pay no tax. Right? These ideas are advanced by people of evil intent. Selfish, greedy, evil intent. These ideas have not produced no prosperity anywhere in the world. You understand? And I've done studies that show that when you don't have a progressive income tax in place, the economy of a country, the growth is retarded. It is retarded. Right? I have studies to show that using conservative Republican approach to running the economy versus the democratic approach to running the economy. The US economy for the past 64 years, that thing, since the Second World War, right? The economy has grown 1.81% more under Democrats than under Republicans. Because Republicans are the one who come with these tax, these tax cuts. They basically would love to abolish income tax, right? Whereas Democrats are the ones for progressive taxation. And what I'm saying is that there's empirical evidence to show that the system that encourages progressive taxation causes the economy to grow and prosper more. than the system that would tend to want to reduce tax to the point of abolishing it, right? So we should not entertain those thoughts. Those thoughts are what the money cabal of the world want, and they put these ideas into the global institution to get them to have people drift towards this. It's nonsense. And when last their ideas work and bring prosperity anywhere, right? So all they do, they come with these things, and once you implement them, it's like you can't go back. The genie is out of the bottle, and you have to just live with the consequence. But they don't make life better, right? And I've been appealing to the government, don't ever abolish income tax. But don't be afraid to cut tax for poorer people. That's the thing. That's what progressive taxing is about. When you tax progressively, there are a cohort of people who don't pay no tax. And that's fine. Because those at the bottom need every dime them get, and they will spend it. They will spend it. And they will create demand for the goods and services that the rich man produce. So the rich man will benefit from that tax cut. But when you cut tax to the rich man or abolish tax altogether, all the rich man will do is find a way to get all the profits, or most of the profits as possible, from an enterprise. He will find a way. Over time, he will work it so that when he should be employing 100 people, he employ 50. When he should be paying them $1 million a year, he paying 500 million. Right? Because when them cut out labor, cut staff, the few little people who are glad for work, and they're glad for work for little or nothing. And that is what will happen. Because when him take all that money now, when him make the company save all that money, and him pay himself high salary and high dividend, him pay no tax on it. This notion about not paying no tax is nonsense, nonsensical. But most of these guys who talk that they're about they being economists, they don't know nothing that they're talking about, right? And it's not me say so, it's John Kenneth Galbraith who said so. Most economists just do it so that they have a job. They are not capable of thought. They're not capable of thinking. They don't realize that the economy is dynamic, and what worked yesterday can work today, and what worked today might not be able to work tomorrow, right? They're not capable of those thinking. So we're not to fall for it. Progressive, there's empirical evidence, right? The greatest growth period for America was in 1933 to 1941, when FDR piled on tax, right? You make over 2 million, you pay 90% of what you make on it. And those kind of taxation shut down greed. So because of those kind of taxation, you never have greedy guys like Mitt Romney coming to buy up companies so that he can just use the company as collateral for loan that stuff his pocket, and which he pay 14% taxes on, right? While driving hundreds, if not thousands, of people out of work. That is what happened when you talk about you cut out tax, right? He's only now paying 14% and 14% tax, right? Because of a stupid law in America, which think that when you allow people to just make money, you're doing a wonderful job, right? See, it coming back to haunt them now, biting them in the butt. We don't have to live that experience. Can't take it from me. I'm Uncle Sister Lee boy from Ginger, but trust me, I've done studies that most of them haven't done, and most of them don't understand. You understand? And I can tell you that when America never have no tax, it took them 56 years to double the national income. Growth was retarded when you have a no income tax situation. But when they had progressive tax from 1933, when FDR first Hoover breaking Republican dogma, and instead of cutting tax, impose it. And then FDR came and follow up and jack up some more on it. And that was in that period, national income doubled in 9 years. 9 years, the shortest period ever. So that is proof positive that progressive income taxation work. The money cabal don't like it. Because they always want a situation where they don't pay no tax. Right? And these are ideas that are championed by conservatives. Right? Ideas championed by conservative. Because what they want to conserve? They want to conserve the way things were in France before the French Revolution. Right? Where the kings and nobilities, the aristocrats, and some members of the clergy live high on the hog and they pay no tax. And it's only the little man they wanted to face all the burden of paying tax. That is what they want, and that is what they're driving towards. And what I'm saying is that when those systems are implemented, it leads to retarded economic growth. And the government should not abandon income tax and should not be afraid to apply progressive income taxation. Right? It's a damper on greed, and it encourages equitable and fair distribution of income in the society. Right? And because of that, I noticed that the propagandist is trying to, to give the impression that it can't be done, it will not be done. I will, even if I was gonna have an afterlife, I'll stake it, my afterlife. I'll bet it on that it will be done. Because not only it would be political suicide not to do it, it makes economic sense to do it. Right? And the money can be found in a budget of $500 million. Right? It can be found. If I were a government, what I do? I'd reduce interest rate. I would compel the reduction of interest rate. I'm not going to allow them to float it and have what they please, what they're doing with it in Jamaica there now. I would set it. And when you have interest rate, if interest rate fall by 1%, they would have more than enough money. They would save more than enough money in interest payment that they can give to poor people to go live a little better life. You understand? One of the biggest burden on government right now is interest payment. And government have the power to regulate that or to pass law to set it. So why they don't do it? Why don't they do it? Country have enough money. You won't be short of money. You have enough money to do it to all the money is indulging in mischief. Right? If you set interest rate, probably that time the banks will want to lend to farmers too. Right? Because when they can make money at 10, 20, 15, 20, 30%, they don't want to lend to farmer because the farmer have to grow food and sell it at price that people can afford to buy it. So what them can make is 4 and 5%, maybe 10% if they're lucky. Right? So because of that now, because they can get interest at 15 and 20%, that's where they want to lend it. And that's why you find farmers and people with good business ideas can't get money to finance it. Right? Because of this high interest rate regime. So when you cut it down, when you put legislation in place and restrict it, you're not only helping the government expenditure, you are going to create the economic environment in which other business can thrive. Right? Because when the bank can make money by buying these expensive government papers and all that, they will have to lend to farmers. Because the country is awash in cash. The country not charter money. Right? So that is they can fix this by just reducing interest rate. Maybe not even by a full 100 basis point. Maybe by just 50 basis point. Half a percent interest reduction. And they will more than have enough money that they would save so much money on interest charges and interest payment that they can more than pay this tax break. Right? And that is what they do. Because high interest rate is interest rate increase when you want to slow economy down, And I don't know, since Omar Davis and him guys then put up interest rate to these high levels. I don't know why people seem to think that high interest rate is a glorious thing. Like high interest rate is something that you should work towards. No. It's when economies are overeating and inflation is becoming a problem. Because the system is not producing enough for the demand that the system is generating, and prices are moving up. Then you use interest rate to slow the economy down, to dampen demand. Right? And interest rate not have no other purpose. It's designed to slow economy down. And I don't see why they're falling in love with these high interest rates. As if prosperity can come that way. Don't come. And we in Jamaica should know better. We have FinSAC to show for it. It was high interest rate that caused it. Right? And high interest rate is no respect of banks, business, or people. Right? I hate banks went bankrupt. 8 life insurance company went bankrupt because of high interest rate. That's not something to be excited about. So all government need to do is to reduce when they come with their public offerings, with their treasury bills and all that, reduce it by a percent point. They have to buy it. Money can't yam. You understand? And they're not lending it to farmers. They're not lending it to business people. Cry get every day is people go to the bank with the best business plan. And they just jerk them around. Run them here, request this, request that. And at the end of the day, they don't offer them the loan. Because they can make money charging these high interest rate and from government and charging fees from savers. Right? So cut the interest rate that you offer. They will subscribe to it. There's a lot of money in the system and now nowhere to go. It's not doing anything. Right? So break the habit, break the cycle. Reduce the interest rate and find the money to make sure. If I were a government, I wouldn't even just cut the 1.5 for the I wouldn't just say those who earn 1.5 or less pay no tax. I would say raise the income tax threshold to 1.5 across the board. And interest rate reduction can finance that. The biggest charge, the biggest amount, the outlay from the budget is to pay interest rate. Thanks to Omar Davis and PJ. Right? The biggest outlay every year is to service debt, pay interest rate. Well, you can't do nothing about the foreign money. Right? Especially the one that Mr. Smart, Mr. Man of the Year go get, right? Him switch the 1% that was paying to Petro Carib Fund and get 7% interest from friends on Wall Street. Right? So we have to pay for that. But when government come to issue government bonds and treasury bills and all, you set the rate at which you're offering them. And let me see what they're going to do with the money. Because Jamaica financial institution is not investing in nothing. Right? You hold the dollar stable like the government is doing now. So them can't speculate in dollar no more. And then you offer them 5% or whatever. Make sure it's 1% less than is on the table now. And see if they're going to walk away and leave it. They can't. They have nothing else to do with the money. Right? And you would free so that huge outlay to service debt will be so greatly reduced. You can do a lot more. You can also offer the auxiliary fee relief. You can offer the no user fee in hospital. Right? Just by telling the banks and the greedy financial institution in Jamaica that, look, boss, me ain't offering more than 1% less than we offering now. Or if you want to push it, you say 2. Because the interest rate is nonsense. It's what is crippling the country. And people making money not doing nothing. You should not make money if you do nothing. You need to do something to make the money. When you make money not doing anything, you're creating a dangerous precedent. Pretty soon, money can't, you can't eat it. It doesn't comfort or cure. It's the things that money can buy. And when interest rate too high, the things, it get too costly to make things. They need to come to terms with that. And that is one way the government can do it. They wouldn't have to cut nothing else. Right? Don't go cut back on health, don't cut back on education. Just tell the greedy financial institution, right? I say, look, me a government, me have the power to regulate and to pass law, and me not paying you more than 1% less than you be paying you now. And see where them go with the money. They can't eat it. They can't keep it in the vault, in them company. Right? They have to take where them get. And that is how government should approach it. That's how I would approach it. And I dare any of them to challenge it. Because if they start export the money, then that's not a matter. You deal with that. You deal with that. Understand? But interest rate all over the world. They don't have nowhere to go. In Japan right now, interest rate is negative. You put money in your bank at Japan, you have to pay the bank to keep it. Just like how the bank suck out people money with fee. If you put money in certain banks in Japan and you leave it there long enough, when you go, you don't see nothing. Because there is negative interest rate. And interest rate is low all over the world. They don't have nowhere else to go with the money. They can't get the kind of return they're getting anywhere else. Nor should they. Because you can't just make money not doing nothing. You must finance the production of goods and services that people consume. And then you make your profit. That is good profit. You can't just, buy paper, buy a treasury bill, and you're making 8, 9, 10%. Nonsense. That's bad. So, government, that's what you should do. Tell them, say, you're cutting the interest rate. Not a dime more. If you're giving them 10 or say you're giving them 9 and not a dime more. They have nothing to do but take it. Because which country they're going to go get more? Ain't going to get no more. It still will be very high return. Too high still. And should be headed down. So, I hope the government in the retreat gave that some thought and will be coming with it. They will have enough money to not only give tax relief to those making 1.5 million or less, but they can increase the threshold across the board. And well, I would imagine they would still need to adjust the taxes at the back end. But also they will have money to make people don't have to pay auxiliary fees in school. Right? They will have money so that people don't have to pay hospital user fee. Right? And the hospitals can be run better. Because when you don't have to take out 48% of your budget to pay interest, let's say you only now need to take out 40%. 8% of our 60 billion budget is what? 48 billion? There you go. You have 48 billion dollars, right? That's all. How much is the tax is needed in the tax? 12 billion? Huh? And if you can target it, try reduce the interest payments down to, instead of 48 to 48%, you bring it down to 40%. You'd have 48 billion you can use other things. Give the people the tax cut. Give schools bigger subvention so that they don't have to charge auxiliary fees and improve their service. Right? That's what we do. That's what you see the price of high interest rate. We have to do without all these things. Just because of high interest rate. And who benefit from these high interest rate? Nonsense. It's time we bring this under control. Right? And the government should do that. But whatever they do, I know they'll do it. Right? It will be political suicide not to do it. And for comrades to be going around thinking that, like they're up in arms. 26 days. And because they can't come and announce it. It's as if the sky is falling in. The government has not even presented its first budget. But the sky is falling and these are failures, right? It's coming from people who sit down, who run the country for 38, nearly 39 years, right? And they can't point to one hospital they build. They can't point to one major water system they build. All the water system they build combined amount to 12.8 million gallons per day. The Tullow Spring, equal the Tullow Spring with Bushira bill, right? Not to mention the Yalas pipeline. Not to mention the Greater Mandeville water thing that Siaga built. Not to mention the Martha system, right? And this is what comrades and the apologists for PNP want to prop up. A party that can't do those things. Can't build a hospital. When they build school, they have to get gifts from Cuba. They have to Masaya or Osemati. Right? How much more they build during that era? Share build 10 school per year. When he build 59 in 5 years. Right? $10 school per year. I don't think during Michael's 7 years or 8 years in the 90s and he built 10 secondary school. Right? And when you look at those schools, you can see the little slipshod, cheap way of building. Right? Just go around and compare them. Look at Waterford School, how it built. Right? Compare with a school like Grangeville. Just look at the quality of the infrastructure, the durability, the design, everything. Superior design that came in earlier years than what came in later years, right? And this is the government you're fighting to prop up. They don't build hospital. They can't build school. They don't build water system. Under them crime flourish. But you want to prop them up, why? Because you get a thing from them. Because they are running people. Nonsense, man. Nonsense. And comrades, especially you on Facebook, you have to stop making yourself irrelevant. Following some of the comments, you wonder if these people really capable of rational thought. The way they're going, 26 days, and it's like they're going to be in this constant election mode. And for why? For why? To get back a party that when them in power, the garbage don't pick up. And all kind of pestilence come on the land. Rat infestation, sick V, chick V. And then all they do is try and downplay and obfuscate and go on like nothing happening. Instead of you try to fix this problem. Huh? And at the same time, we are on track to be the worst economy by 2030. The worst, not one of, the worst of 189 country. Huh? You should be ashamed of yourself. You need to take a break, man. Take a break. And let the government fix the problem. If they're falling down on a job now, then you have a right to talk. But after 26 days, you guys making yourself look ridiculous. Because if you were fighting to get back a government that perform, it would be bad and not so bad. But you're talking about the most incompetent government in the Caribbean. The most incompetent. That's why you're fighting to bring back. I think I'll take another break. Give my voice a little rest. And I'm sure my listeners would like to hear a little bit more of this prosperity song. Don't you, listeners? Here we go.
I love myself, I'm on my way. use it for my pleasure. And when my bank account gets low, that doesn't mean I'm in trouble. 'Cause every dollar that I spend will come back to me double. And I love myself, I'm on my way, I'm getting richer every day. I love money, money loves me, I'm on the road to prosperity. Now I don't need to waste my time in a job that I find boring. There's many creative ways to earn, I can spend my time exploring. Making money by working hard is fine, there's no denying. But getting paid for fun and play is far more satisfying. And I love myself, I'm on my way, I'm getting richer every day. I love money, money loves me, I'm on the road to prosperity.
On the road to prosperity, nobody's gonna derail the prosperity train. People trying to show tack in the road, some people trying to show oil and wish that the prosperity train would crash. But it's not going to crash. Not going to crash. You see, if we were up against a party that was performing, then you know you'd have to pull out all the stops to match them or to beat them. But when you're talking about a party that can't even grow the economy, you know, there's never 2 years of growth of over 3% from the People's National Party running Jamaica since 1972. Never have two consecutive growth. 2 consecutive years of 3% growth or more. Right? In a 1 year you have a little growth here, the next year we are down, up, little bit down on average. For the past how many years? They have averaged 1% growth. Right? So that's who the competition is. And they're only there because they have a set of followers that, in all respect, they are cultists. They are cultists. To me, I don't see how Comrade differ from the Branch Davidians. I honestly don't see how they differ, right? Because they're not using reasoning. They just have their party. They're rooting for the party, and they don't care. They just want the party to be in power, right? They come in like football fans. The fan of a football team, you know, no matter how the team lousy, they're always hoping that the team can beat a star-studded team, you know. And when they beat, they feel elated, right? And that is how they're treating government. This is not football. This is not sport, man. It's about the development of your picnic and their children. We have farmed fool long enough now. We know that the People's National Party is not capable of any better. Right? Expecting them to change is like expecting leopards to change their ways. They're not going to change. Their culture will remain the same for quite a long time. Right? And what have they done? What have they done for you, comrades? Huh? What have they done for you? Why you fight to keep these people in power? I'm really glad the other day when a lot of you sat down and go out and vote, because I know you want the 1.8. You're the 1.5 million tax break. Good for you. And you will get it if you're working. And you've been, you know, you used to pay taxes, then you'll get the relief. But one of the tricks the other day was to embellish the expectation. Give the impression like this tax break would have been given to everybody, all those who don't work, right? And it was done because what they want is to heighten expectation, and then when the expectations are not met, people feel let down. That was the tactics. That was the trick. And then once order came out and announced that the main source of funding is no longer available, they start to think that, oh, this was just a con game to win election. When has the JLP ever done that? When has the JLP ever done that? They promised to remove user fee from hospital, promise kept. They promised to remove cost sharing in school, promise kept, and brought back by PNP in the form of auxiliary fee. Right? The JLP don't make wild promises. They fulfill their commitments. So we can rest assured that the 1.5 million tax cut, if not more, will be kept. I strongly suspect that in order to eliminate the anomaly, not only that the 1.5 million or less will be relief of tax burden, but maybe that will be taken right across the board. I strongly believe that could be done. I think we can afford it, and at the very least you can increase some taxes at the back end for people getting more than 1.5 million, or maybe in one or two tiers, right? But the surefire way is to reduce government spending and interest rate. And government is who set the interest rate. Government is who set the interest rate, so they should not be setting burdensome interest rate. And they are not to be afraid. The people who have money in Jamaica, they can't get better return anywhere else. Right? Nowhere else. Not in America, not in Canada. Interest rate is almost at the floor in this country. And in some countries, it's negative interest rate. Right? So, it's time the government must move. Don't come with no half and high rate yield and treasury bills and all these things. You are the one setting it. You tell them how much you're going to pay and see if they don't have to buy it. What are they going to do with the money? Eat it? No. And they can't leave it locked up in the closet. Right? Their shareholders and other people will not sanction such a move. Right? So go ahead. Lower the interest rate and pay for the tax cut that was promised to the people. It can be done, and I know it will be done. Right? Another matter that the government needs to look into is the way the financial sector is strangling people. And it's all tied into this thing, cutting the interest rate to government, because it's the financial sector that is strangling government, that is sucking out almost half of all the revenue government collect goes into paying servicing debt. Right? I'm not sure how much is just interest payment, but a substantial amount of that is just interest payment. So what you have is the financial sector sucking out all the money. And the rest of the society have to live the way we have been living. Totally unacceptable. And it's time the government recognize it and deal with the financial sector. And not only should they tell them how much they're going to pay for treasury bills and government bonds, but they need to cap the amount of fee they charge people. Right? A lot of these banks are making a killing just charging people fees. Fees to open a bank account, fees to deposit money in it, fees to draw money from it, right? And that is why they don't feel the need to take a look at people's business plan and find a way to fund it. They don't have to do it. Because they can make that $10 billion per year without having to offer business loan. No, that must be discouraged. You're talking about capital, the capital of a nation. I personally believe in the regulated economy. I'm a capitalist, but capitalism must be regulated. Because mankind is selfish and greedy. Right? It's not by chance we have so much police and soldier and lawyer and courthouse and all them things. It's because mankind is selfish. Right? So you need laws and regulation. You can't just leave everything up to the market. But, and when it comes to money, money is a special commodity. The capital of a nation is special. And government should not allow for whole of capital to do as they please. It's a dangerous concept. Capital is the lifeblood of a nation. You understand? When the makers of other commodities, other goods and services want to do as them please with it, the market have a way of taking care of that. But capital is just capital. So when the industry who deal with the capital of a nation choose to do as they please with it, then what happens to the country? These things must be regulated. And we need to wake out our slumber and our sleep, thinking that this free market will do everything and we'll all find prosperity, with the free market doing as they please. It's nonsense. These markets have to be regulated. And it's time government realize it. These high yields and these high interest rates are what cripple society and bankrupt nations. And must be discouraged. You cap them by legislation or you tax them. You have windfall profit tax to discourage how much profit these people make. You understand? People need to understand the economy. Because while free market can work in some things, and the market can have a way to shake itself out. Like if you have too much supermarket coming in the market have a way to correct that. If you have too much bakers and that kind of thing, too much farmers, too much pig farming, too much of anything, you have glut and then the glut kill the price and so on. The market have a way to fix that. But when we're talking about the capital of a country, you have only one capital. And you can't make those who you grant license to collect the money, people money, to do as they please with money. They have been doing that too long, and the financial institution of the world is strangling the world, and the government must get wise to it. And they can start sending a message by not offering this high rate of return on government paper, and use some of the savings to finance the tax cut and to finance other promises that was made, so that the people of Jamaica can live a better quality of life. Right? High interest rate, high yields destroys, not only destroy businesses, but it destroys quality of life. And it's time we come to terms with it and put a end to that. I'd like to thank you for tuning in this afternoon. I encourage you to do so in the future. And if you like what you hear, share it with your family and friends. And let people know about this Jam Talk Show. This was another edition of the Jam Talk Show. Thanks for joining. Have yourself a good evening.